Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for keeping it right here on KTV2. It is Sunday night, in particular, 7 o'clock. Why? Because we are here to give you the latest news, entertainment, and sports. My dear colleague, Urwa has the headline.
Thank you, Ahmed. His Highness the Emir receives a written letter from the custodian of the two holy mosques. His Highness the Crown Prince will patronise Kuwait University's annual graduation ceremony tomorrow. The National Assembly Speaker participates in the 138th meeting of the Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly. And authorities warn seagoers and desert campers of unstable and dusty weather conditions in the country. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin this evening's news with the first item. Ahmed.
Thank you so much. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah received this morning at Sif Palace the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the State of Kuwait, Dr. Abdul Aziz bin Ibrahim Al Faiz. During the meeting, Ambassador Al Faiz conveyed a written message to His Highness the Emir from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on means of enhancing bilateral relations between the two countries. His Highness the Emir then received His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah. His Highness the Emir also received His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al Mubarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister. His Highness the Emir later received the acting National Assembly Speaker Dr. Oda Al Ruwai'i. His Highness the Emir then received, in the presence of His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Ibrahim bin Hamad Al Thani, on the occasion of his visit to the State of Kuwait. Finally, His Highness the Emir received the Minister of Oil and Minister of Electricity and Water, Bkhit Al Rashidi, along with the Chief Executive Officer of the Kuwait Oil Company, Nizar Al Adsani, and the company's board members, who briefed His Highness the Emir on the solar renewable energy project, also known as Sidra 500. His Highness the Emir praised the efforts exerted by the project's organizers, which is a great step in renewable energy, wishing them further progress and success. The meetings were attended by the Minister of Amir Diwan Affairs, Sheikh Ali Al Jarrah Al Sabah.
His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency the President of Greece, Prokopios Pavlopoulos, on the occasion of his country's National Day. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency the President of Greece, Prokopios Pavlopoulos, on the occasion of his country's national days. His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al Mubarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister, also sent a similar cable of congratulations.
His Highness Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah received a written message from His Excellency the President of Republic of Guinea-Bissau, Jose Mario Vaz, on bilateral relations between the two countries and ways of enhancing them in all domains. The message was conveyed to the Minister of the Amir Diwan Affairs, Sheikh Ali Al Jarrah Al Sabah, by the Special Envoy to His Excellency the President of Guinea-Bissau, Mamadou Sano.
His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah received this morning at Sif Palace His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al Mubarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister. His Highness the Crown Prince also received the acting National Assembly Speaker, Dr. Ouda Ruwai'i.
His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah will patronize and attend the annual Unified Graduation Ceremony of Kuwait University students for the academic year 2016-2017. The ceremony will be held tomorrow, Monday, at 6:30 p.m. at Shuwaykh Campus Stadium.
The National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Ail Ghanem took part today at the 138th Conference of the Interparliamentary Union's Assembly, which tackled the issue of migrants and refugees. Addressing the conference, Speaker Al Ghanem said that the state of Kuwait has been committed to address the Syrian and Palestinian refugees who have been forced to flee and take refuge outside their countries. Speaker Al Ghanem added that Kuwait, in line with the directives of His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, have been carrying out humanitarian work to aid the refugees through hosting several pledging conferences and delivering aid to them in cooperation with the concerned organizations worldwide. Earlier, the National Assembly Speaker chaired a coordination meeting of the Islamic group on the sidelines of the 138th Conference of the IPU's Assembly held in Geneva.
The Minister of Information, Mohammed Al-Jabri, met today with the Ambassador of the Kingdom to the State of Kuwait, Michelle Davenport. During the meeting, both sides discussed ways of bolstering bilateral relations between the two countries, namely in the media domain. Minister Al-Jabri said that the ministry will be participating in an impending celebration marking the 120 years of the Kuwaiti-British relations due next year, adding that the event reflects the strong friendship between the two nations.
The Kuwait Fire Service Director today issued a warning for seagoers and desert campers to take extra precaution as unstable and dusty weather conditions hit the country. According to the Directorate's Public Relations and Information Department, southern winds might accelerate to 60 kilometers per hour with a drop in visibility to less than 1,000 meters in some open areas. The department also advised people to follow up on weather conditions through the websites of Kuwait Meteorological Center and the Ministry of Information.
Kuwait Petroleum Corporation conducted a drill today on dealing with gas leakage as part of the company's regular safety programs and measures. Spokesman of the oil sector, Sheikh Talal Al-Khalid Al-Sabah, said in a press release that the drill took place in cooperation and coordination with concerned government bodies, including the Ministry of Interior, Kuwait Fire Service Directorate, and the Ministry of Health, represented in Emergency Medical Service Control Center, as well as the Environment Public Authority. Sheikh Talal Al-Khalid said Kuwait Petroleum Corporation and its companies are keen on conducting such drills on an annual basis, reflecting their high ability to deal with emergency scenarios and crisis management and boost the corporation's safety status among other international oil companies.
And moving to Syria, where rebels continue to pull out of several towns in their former enclave of eastern Ghouta, surrendering to the Syrian regime and leaving the besieged city of Douma as their last bastion there. Buses carrying fighters along with their families and other civilians headed into exile in northwestern Syria. It follows the departure of thousands of others from the town of Harasta in similar deal for the fighters to depart with light weapons in return for giving up their territory.
The Kurdish militia group YBS said that its fighter will stay in town of Sinjar in northern Iraq despite threats from the Turkish government that they will attack if the Kurds do not withdraw. The YBS is the local affiliate of the Kurdistan Workers' Party PKK, a Kurdish armed group which has led a decades-long insurgency in Turkey. The YBS spokesman said that PKK militiants have agreed to leave Sinjar. However, the YBS would stay in the area as it saw itself as a legitimate Iraqi forces.
Iraqi officials said today that 7 people were killed in attacks across the country, including the capital city of Baghdad. The Iraqi army said that 4 civilians were killed in an armed attack against a security point in Al-Saadiyah in Diyala province. Meanwhile, a bomb attack targeting a patrol car of Iraqi militia in the Al-Mansuriyah northeast of Diyala province killed 1 and injured 3 others. Elsewhere, 1 person was killed in an attack against a military vehicle in the city of Tikrit, while another civilian was killed after being shot by an unknown attacker in the Bab al-Sham region located in North Baghdad.
The United Nations Human Rights Council adopted 4 key resolutions for the state of Palestine during its 37th session that concluded recently in Geneva.
Following the vote, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates, Riyad al-Maliki, called on the international community to take tangible steps to protect the people of Palestine and achieve the 2-state solution. Our correspondent in Gaza, Hind al-Khudari, has the details in the following report.
The United Nations Human Rights Council has adopted in its 37th session 4 resolutions for Palestine. The majority of the member countries voted in favor of 4 resolutions. Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories, including East Jerusalem, are illegal. The right of the Palestinian people to self-determination and the situation of human rights in the occupied Palestinian territories, including East Jerusalem, and ensuring accountability and justice for all violations of the international law in the occupied Palestinian territory.
اليوم مجلس منظمات حقوق الإنسان وبدعم مجموعة من الدول العربية ودول العالم.
Today, the United Nations Human Rights Council and a group of countries, especially the state of Kuwait, Bahrain, and Turkey, made a great role to achieve the adoption of these 4 resolutions of the Palestinian rights to fight the Israeli violations.
Kuwait's National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Al-Ghanim chaired on Saturday a coordination meeting by the Islamic group on sidelines of the 138th Inter-Parliamentary Union IPU Assembly. The conference reached a consensus on merging proposals regarding the unscheduled topic on Jerusalem, presented by Kuwait, Palestine, Bahrain, and Turkey.
هذه القرارات جاءت نصرة ودعما للشعب الفلسطيني وقضيته.
These resolutions came as a victory for Palestine and the Palestinians. Palestinian rights have been under violation in the past years by Israel, especially the continuous settlements that are being built and Judaization.
The Palestinians praised the vote and thanked the countries that voted in favor of the 4 resolutions. The 4 resolutions that have been adopted by the UN Human Rights Council are more of a victory for the Palestinians in the current situation. For KTV2, this is Hind al-Khudari, Gaza, Palestine.
The Egyptian presidential election will start tomorrow with millions of Egyptian voters heading to polls to choose the country's leader. 60 million eligible voters will cast their ballots in the election that will take place from the 26th to the 28th of this month. Only 2 candidates are running for the country's highest position: the current president, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the leader of Al-Ghad party, Musa Mustafa.
In France, 2/3 of trains were cancelled, where hundreds of thousands of railway workers and civil servants rallied to protest against a series of reforms launched by French President Emmanuel Macron, who attempted to remove 120,000 positions in the public service by 2023. Earlier, the government also announced a plan to privatize the national rail network because of its debt amount about some $68.2 billion. Despite a very strong protest, the Macron government has already managed to pass a prescription reform in September 2017, which allows private companies to lay off and hire more easily. This time, the reform extends to the public.
Hundreds of thousands of young Americans and their supporters answered a call to action from survivors of last month's Florida high school massacre and rallied across the country today to demand tighter gun laws. Protests were held in major U.S. cities including Washington, D.C., New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, among others. The massive demonstrations aim to break legislative gridlock that has long stymied efforts to increase restrictions on firearms sales in a nation where mass shootings like the one in Parkland, Florida, have become frighteningly common.
Moving on to financial news. Borsa Kuwait ended today's trading session on mixed board, with the price index shedding by 30 points. On the other hand, the weighted and the KSX 15 indices gained 0.19 and 1.24 points respectively. More financial news in the following report by Nadia Al-Ali.
The Central Bank of Kuwait said today the exchange rate of the US dollar against the Kuwaiti dinar was stable at 299 fils, while the euro was down to 369 fils compared to last Thursday's rates. According to the bank, the pound sterling went down to 423 fils, while the Swiss franc remained at 316 fils, while the Japanese yen was unchanged at 2 fils. China pledged today to press ahead with market opening and reforms, while reiterating that it will treat domestic and foreign firms equally and protect intellectual property rights. The pledge on reform and equal treatment came from Vice Premier Han Zhen at a time there are increasing prospects of a trade war with the United States. Premier Han, making his first speech since being named Executive Vice Premier earlier this month, told the China Development Forum in Beijing that China needs to open even wider to the outside world and would do so via its Belt and Road Initiative. Demonstrators took to the streets in Edinburgh, Scotland, to participate in a pro-European Union rally ahead of the one-year anniversary of Article 50 being triggered by the UK Parliament, which officially announced its intention to leave the political and economic bloc. The rally, which brought together members of the pro-EU Youth Organisation and local EU proponents, was held under the theme, British Exit is Not Worth It. March 29th marks the first anniversary since the UK launched its plan to quit the EU, or the British Exit. But days ahead of the anniversary, people in cities across Scotland and England had been protesting on the streets, saying that the exit is wrong.
And in sports, Sebastian Vettel made full use of the virtual safety car to sneak in front of Lewis Hamilton and hold off the frustrated champion to win Formula One's season-opening Australian Grand Prix. 4 times world champion Vettel claimed a 48th overall win and his third in Melbourne following his victories at Albert Park last year and in 2011. More stories in the following report by Asim Salama.
Argentina's national football team trained at Real Madrid's sports city of Valdebebas ahead of a friendly match against Spain on Tuesday. Barcelona star Lionel Messi was not seen during a training session due to physical discomforts. Neither strikers Gonzalo Higuain nor Angel Di Maria. On Friday, Argentina edged past Italy 2-0 at Manchester City's Etihad Stadium. World number 1 Roger Federer suffered a shock 3-6, 6-3 and 7-6 defeat by Australian Thanasi Kokkinakis in the Miami Open second round. It was the second loss in 6 days for the Swiss champion, who was beaten by Juan Martín del Potro in the Indian Wells final. With the loss, Federer is set to lose his top ranking to Rafael Nadal, who's not competing in Miami. Jaroslav Kulahavi of the Czech Republic and American Howard Grotz produced another dominant display to win Stage 6 for the Cape Epic in Wellington, South Africa. The pair's win on the penultimate stage gave them an 8-minute 26-second lead heading into today's grand finale. The yellow jersey holders have been in commanding form and added to Friday's Stage 5 victory by crossing over the line 66 seconds ahead of their nearest rivals.
Every year, The Francophone community celebrates and promotes worldwide the use of the French language as well as a cultural and linguistic diversity. On this occasion, the French Institute in Kuwait hosted a festival that witnessed an array of activities including live cooking session and musical performance. Jinwa Jabouri has more details.
The garden of the French Institute recently became a stage of beautiful cultures through the colourful participating booths of La Francophonie participating countries. A number of embassies showcased some wonderful items that depicted the essence of their fascinating cultures.
Romania is present here in the Francophone Festival together with other countries from the Francophone world like Canada, like Lebanon, like Swiss, like Belgium, and more than one African country, Burkina Faso, Senegal. So it's a multicultural Francophone festival. Romania is present with a photo exhibition on the art of Constantin Brâncuș, the pioneer of the modern sculpture. And this shows the liaison between the Francophone countries. We are celebrating 25 years from the accession of Romania to the Francophonie, and we are celebrating also 100 years of our grand union of all Romanians in one country.
We're always happy as a Belgian embassy to participate in this Francophonie festival. And today we are here with a number of Belgian cultural products. We have the Belgian comic strip represented with the Smurfs. You probably know them in Kuwait as well. We have a contest for children. They can participate, and we have nice prizes that can be won. And also we brought some Belgian food, sweets, the speculoos cookies that are very popular all over the world. So we really hope that many people can come today and discover this very nice event here at the Institut Français.
La Francophonie's objective is to highlight the richness of French language and culture, as well as the presence of the French language, and to further the French language in Kuwait. At educational domains, an array of events will be taking place across various venues in Kuwait, including film, arts, literature, and more.
Well, in Canada, as you may know, we have two official languages, French and English, and people speak French across Canada, in majority in Quebec and New Brunswick, and we take a lot of pride in diversity in Canada, and certainly linguistic diversity is something that we value very much. And today I'm taking advantage of this festival that we have here at l'Institut Français to showcase one of the typical products. Quebec is very known for its maple syrup. It's the #1 producer of maple syrup in the world. And today I'm showcasing, we have some maple syrup, but also what we call maple taffy, which is condensed maple syrup.
French speakers from around the globe are seen to unite annually during the month of March to promote the French language and the diversity and traditions that has stood the test of time through its uniqueness, diversity, and respected values.
La Francophonie celebration, bringing out the best beautiful cultures in participating Francophonie Day. From the French Institute Jabriya, I'm Jinwa Jabouri, reporting to you for the English News.
Hi, from local to international news, let's take a look at the weather forecast with Farah El Hadi.
Kuwait in 30 minutes brings you the latest and recent events and activities just for you in 30 minutes.
We'll be taking you with us in a tour highlighting the main events happening all across Kuwait.
Our show also hosts distinguished guests just for the events that we cover for you.
Kuwait in 30 minutes is a show coming to you every week in its new edition.
and welcome to the weather forecast. Today's weather has been relatively hot in the afternoon with strong winds and will continue on to be relatively warm for this evening. Let's start off with the current weather conditions in Kuwait City. Right now we've got clear skies outside with southeasterly wind with a speed of 32 kilometers per hour. The temperature in Kuwait City is 29. Humidity with 37% and visibility is more than 10 kilometers. As for the latest satellite image, we see that we've got some scattered clouds in the region. This is all due to the fact that we're under a high pressure system, giving us these strong winds along with the scattered clouds and the relatively hot weather. Tonight's weather will continue on to be quite warm, and tomorrow early morning we're expecting it to be slightly cloudy, especially in the south borders of Kuwait City. Tomorrow afternoon the maximum temperature expected is ranging from 34 to 36. Again, it's going to be a bit cloudy with strong winds as well. The temperature expected in Wafra is 35, Nuwaisib 35, Garo Kabranum Al Manadim 23 degrees, Kuwait City 35, Felak Island 22, Warbawabian 21. Tomorrow evening it's still going to be cloudy and the temperatures expected in Kuwait City is 25, Felak Island 22, Warbawabian 21, Wafra 25, Shigar Salmi 27. The state of the sea will be slight to moderate, with the first high tide being at 8:10, the second is at 5:45. First low tide is at 12:40 and the second is at 12:25. The Fajr prayer time for tomorrow is going to be at 4:26, sunrise at 5:46 and sunset at 6:03. The extended weather forecast for the next days is going to be cloudy and for tomorrow, and I'll leave you with the international cities around the world.
Well, folks, that's all the news that we have for you this evening. Before we leave you, we'd like to remind you with the headlines once again. His Highness the Emir receives a written letter from the custodian of the two holy mosques. His Highness the Crown Prince will patronize Kuwait University's annual graduation ceremony tomorrow. The National Assembly Speaker participates in the 138th meeting of the Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly. And authorities warn seagoers and desert campers of unstable and dusty weather conditions in the country.
For a chance to see our reports again, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening.
Don't make the dust keep you out, but stay in with KTV to enjoy the rest of the evening, and bye-bye.